Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tarkov. I'm the EarLegAthlete here with,
Hey Dizzle.
and today we've got a lot to go over, but before we get started, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right to it. So, we went over this last week, and it's all about the review stuff still, right? There's a multiple reviewers out there that have covered Escape from Tarkov's release. IGN and well, their name is slipping my brain right now. I'm only thinking of the bad ones.
Games Creed.
No, the good one.
All the good ones. IGN, PC Gamer.
PC Gamer.
Um,
PC Gamer was the one that we yeah. So we had PC
yeah, yeah.
Gamer, that did a good thorough review and actually looked into Tarkov, looked into the community, and played the game. And then we had the IGNs, the Games Creed, probably a few others out there that were just beating down the game as much as they could. Uh, well, we had some gameplay posted. We've looked into accounts, and people have determined that the the IGN reviewer was lying about a massive portion of what he said. The guy that killed him was a 800-hour account, looked like a normal 800-hour account who was just exfil camping. You'll have that all the time. He claimed that he had played like 100+ hours of PvP Tarkov or even just Tarkov in general. And after looking at his account, he had 52 hours total on, that's just account lifetime, 52 hours. Yeah, then the fact that he was saying like the game was being completely, overrun with cheating and this gray market of account selling and all this other stuff. I think that was all kind of just disproven as well, which we for the most of us already know. That's not the case. There's still probably be a handful of people out there that ride that train, apparently. But yeah, pretty much everything that the IGN reviewer had gone over and said was more or less debunked and just either shown as an outright lie or just somebody that had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah, he really he made a mistake when he leaked his name and things, because then people can just go look at your stats. They can go look at anything you posted, and you could clearly see that a lot of the things he said just wasn't true. Um, the video he put together, they did a magazine, like written review, and then they did a video review also. Well, in their video review, he posted that video of him dying on Interchange, which was his second raid, by the way. He only did 2 PvP raids, which was the
Yeah,
introduction
well,
and
yeah,
then
one's a
1
tutorial.
Interchange raid. Yeah, that's the only raids he did on PvP. Um, but
Here's footage of
the
the
video
raid.
he shows, he never claimed that that was, a cheater, but he showed that clip as he was talking about cheaters running into cheaters and having to leave PvP. So he kind of insinuated it, but I wouldn't even say that was a uh extract camper. I think he just ran into someone. Like that's right outside the new area. I think there's just people going into the new area, and I think someone just spotted him. I think that's all that was. I don't even think he got extract camped. Um, I think he just ran into someone and died. Like that was it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where in the footage. I can't remember.
It was pretty mid of the video somewhere when he showed it. But yeah, it was like he clearly took liberties with a lot of things in his review and just said things that he
Well, a
had
lot of
heard,
it,
or just,
yeah,
made
the
things up.
gameplay wasn't really that bad because you had a mixture of things in there. There was a part somewhere throughout all of that where he essentially says, or essentially shows him all the extract camper, like you said, it's probably just somebody he ran into, not even necessarily an exfil camper. Um,
Yeah, I think One Peg was the one who started the exfil camper thing. One Peg said, well, that was probably just an extract camper. But like I said, in my eyes, it wasn't even that, because it was just him walking through and getting shot. Like, yes, it was close to an extract, but the extract is also very close to the new area. And I feel like a lot of people are, going up and down that new area. So it's like you're very likely to run into people in that area now. Now, back in the day when there was nothing back there, yeah, I would call that an extract camper. But now that there's reasons to be back there, I just think it was 2 guys running into each other.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the guy's review overall, not a bad review by any means, not like what we're going to get into next. It's just he's dishonest with a handful of the things that he says. You know what I mean? And then that kind
Well, yeah.
of removes any validate, or I guess invalidates anything that he may have said outside of that as well, like or beyond that as well. So it's just but like
Well,
overall, not a horrible review. Like it's well written for the most part. You know, it's thought out. It's better than what we're about to look at. It is just untrue. Is you
well,
know that's the big issue.
and and the reason it's so bad is because he's on a very reputable, supposedly reputable
Right.
review. He's with a very reputable review company, IGN, who's supposed to be top notch, supposed to be thorough, supposed to be honest. And that's why his is so bad because he just lied. He lied about how much PvP he played. He lied about the hours that he put into the game. He lied about experiences he had in the game. Like those
Okay.
are
Well,
just
here's a part
things.
of it, right? So he says, at least in these first couple of weeks with 1.0, there are still numerous bugs I would have hoped to have been cleaned up after so many years in early access, like characters getting caught on objects or clipping through walls, desync and rubber banding that monkeys hit with hit registration, loot that's visible but painfully lodged in the environment so it can't be picked up, and numerous issues with already ugly as sin menus that make navigating them even more frustrating.
The UI is fine. He kept harping on the UI. What is wrong with the UI? I've never heard anyone really complain about Tarkov's
Now,
UI much.
even more alarming is the continued prevalence of cheaters who continue to plague the PvP servers so they can sell their ill-gotten items back to these people they've ripped off via an in-game trading market. It's all the usual stuff like wall hacks, aimbots, and moving as fast. Oh my god, and moving at faster than normal speeds. But in a game where all your loot is on the line, not doing a better job, blah blah blah, to mitigate it. Okay, yeah, like he just took a lot of just things he hears on the internet and ran with those. Unfortunately, and those are just a few sentences out of the entirety of this uh, review. Um, it is
The
unfortunate
big
because, like you said, he works for IGN, and that's a
Yeah,
pretty reputable, or at least should be. Maybe not as much lately, but should be reputable site. Um,
very large and popular review site, and the biggest sin of this whole review is him just straight up lying about his
right.
playtime, lying about what he did when
There
he
it
was
is.
playing.
After over 120 hours with the 1.0 version, there's still something utterly compelling about the hyper-realistic combat simulation and never-ending loot treadmill it puts you on. But I can't help feel like this progenitor may have been left in the dust of the genre it spawned. And with not even 100 hours, you're barely scratching the surface of Tarkov. And with even half of that, 50 hours, you barely understand mechanics and movement and like figuring out what maps to run, how to run maps, like where the loot's at on those maps, how to pick up that loot that you say is lodged in the environment and impossible to pick up.
Yeah, like, I don't
Um,
run into that issue. I don't run into getting stuck in walls. I don't run into, like
no,
every now and then
the
you'll see a
the
piece of
biggest
loot
thing,
that might be hard to see, but, like, it's not a problem I think about. And just to point out, his account has 52 hours in it. That's 52 hours across PvP and PvE. So
correct?
technically he has about probably 2 hours in PvP.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it he spent in because he ended up getting to level 14, I think, in PvE. Um, so yeah, it's
Well, and then
just
you got to
dishonest and
think about the fact
go
too
ahead.
that with only 50 hours, and a chunk of that is guaranteed to be spent in your stash, especially for a new player. They're going to be
Absolutely.
organizing and moving and just
Yeah.
like figuring out where to put stuff and how to put stuff, what backpack stack. Like there's a lot of things to pick up on early on. So it's even less in game time of learning how the game flows and how the game works and the systems and everything else. Um, just to put out a review that is slanderous, like the lying, like you said, it's just the outright lying is just uncalled for and completely
Yeah.
unacceptable.
Yeah, his
Lies
opinion
about
stuff is
time
fine. You're
played,
allowed to
lies
have an
about a bunch of
opinion.
other stuff. Yeah, and
Right. You're
like for
allowed to
the
have an
most part,
opinion,
he
but
he stays pretty neutral. You know what I mean? Like overall, he stays neutral. He gives it like a 6, which I think is low for what Tarkov is. Um, but he stayed neutral, which is fair. It's just the times that he was being negative about it were, for the most part, lies. It's just kinda wild. It's just kinda wild for it all to come out to be even, further from the truth than he already made it seem.
Well, the wild part is they're careless enough to leave evidence that, that shows that they were lying about their review. Like,
Well, this
the fact
review was
that review
dropped,
company.
what, 3, 4 days ago? I don't know if there's
Yeah,
actually
something
a
like that. Yeah,
date
it's
on
it's been
this.
about 4 days ago. It's been about 4 days ago.
And there's been 0 changes to it, no asterisks added, no nothing to correct any of the information that's misplaced. And that's the thing too with straight up lies and things of that sort. It's written here. You don't have to do a lot to fix it. You just go in and edit your website and change the text. Like correct it or at least put asterisks and then fix it in the bottom. Like there's ways you could correct the information, and to not correct it just shows how careless they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Um, let's move on from this one because, like, the dude lied. Like, that's the big issue. That's the big takeaway. Is the guy works for IGN. He lied about a lot of what he disliked about Tarkov. Um,
well, I was gonna say, here is, um I am going to retweet this, and if you wanna bring up Twitter, you can show a picture of his account. It's
yeah, yeah,
retweeted on our account.
that would be dope. Okay, so here's his account. We'll look over here on the
That's
left
his
first. This is
PvP.
P. Yeah, this is his PvP account, and this is his PMC, not scav. He has done 2 raids. He has survived 0% of those, so both raids ended in death. He killed 1 something, and he has a zero point 0.5 KD. 52 hours total, you know what I mean? Oh, I guess this isn't showing his. That's right, because he hadn't run any scav raids or anything else, so.
No, no, he done 2 PvP
Oh,
raids and then
wait.
switched to PvE.
This is looked at through, like, view profile on the game.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
somebody
not.
looking his profile up,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. I was.
Thai guy Travis is the guy.
Yeah. Um, First time always hurts or whatever the first achievement is when you die in Tarkov. Welcome to hell, something like that, I don't know. But yeah, like, he has nothing, he's done nothing, you know what I mean? Literally done nothing.
Oh,
And
welcome to
and
Tarkov, but yeah, that's what it is.
yeah, and then to say, "Oh, after 120 plus hours," and doing all these things in game when he didn't really try the base game, what Tarkov is intended to be is PvP Tarkov. Um, and he gave it a tutorial raid that you cannot die in, that you keep no loot from, and it auto levels you to level 3, no more, no less. And then he went into another raid and died. Uh, Past that, here's a couple of the other things. Here is the guy that nope, wrong one. Here's the guy that killed him. 827 hours, a handful of, reasonable achievements. He has a 494 raids, 8 run-throughs, 53% survival rate, 265 survived, you know what I mean? Fucking 877 kills with a 3.97 KD. Pretty average player. Looks like my stats right now, more or less.
Yeah, far from a
Just
cheater.
Yeah, just somebody just chilling, playing the game, not really caring, just having a good time. And then we have dude's PvE account. As you can see, it's got 52 hours, 27 minutes. By guy
And you
Travis,
can see
same
this
name.
is
This,
clearly
yeah.
where he spent most his hours.
Well, not only that, but he also went and spent money. He has
Yeah,
a
he says in
basic
the
white
review
account,
he bought
and
every
then
edition of Tarkov.
yeah, he had a basic white account, and then he goes through to the PvE account where he has unheard edition. But over here, even on PvE, he's running 55 raids, 147 kills. He's got an 8.65 KD with a 58% survival rate. Still sitting at 52 hours online total. But yeah, you can see, yeah, clear as day. This is where those 50 hours went. Uh,
Yeah. I think
but yeah,
2 of them went into PvP and 50 of them went into PvE.
I would say that's probably entirely fair, just because like
Which
you can see it. It's pretty obvious. He
there's
barely
nothing
did anything on
nothing
there.
wrong with that.
No, not at
Nothing
all.
wrong with
Not at all.
going to PvE. The problem with the reason we're laying all this out, the problem with this is his lie of saying spending over 120 hours or whatever he said, 100 plus hours in Tarkov 1.0 when he clearly did not do that.
Right.
because this is his account right now. This is his account after the review was put out. So he can't say that this was taken because this is somebody looking up his account and looking at it right now. So the fact that the review was already out and his account only has 52 hours on it, there's no way he spent 100 and some hours in the game. The game tracks when you're sitting in the menu even. So
Right.
like it,
And it's guaranteed he spent
this
a
is
lot of time menuing.
yeah. So it's like this is clearly not 100+ hours of game
He'd be
time.
lucky if he has a third of the time he says he has, of actual in-raid time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's unfortunate, it really is. There are talented writers out there. There are people who are dedicated and passionate about what they do, and not everyone is,
Oh, well,
not
one
everyone is
thing
going to
real
be that
quick.
person. So we do have to deal with these things. But if you are one of these writers, just don't lie about it. If you suck at the game, just say you suck, but just give your honest opinions and don't make things up or lie. Just narratives. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to say, he did state that he spent 10 hours in PvP mode, which he clearly did not. You did not do 2 raids and it take you 10 hours because the tutorial you start instantly. So are you
Right, and you only
saying
get
you
X amount of
spend
time in there.
right, so you spend that raid time and then what, the next 9 hours you spend in your very first raid?
Yeah,
Just impossible.
doesn't
Um,
really make sense that way.
so yeah, he spent about 30 minutes to an hour in PvP and everything else was in PvE. Um, he said he spent 120 hours total in the game. It's 52. It's like BSG is worthy of criticism in certain ways, for sure. But this is not one of them. To make
No.
things up and to lie about things, like this is not the way to go, no matter whether your criticism is correct or not. This is just showing IGN's true colors once again, and more of a reason why just you can't trust anything they say. But yeah, this is just a bad look for them.
Yeah, 100%. And just to kind of show how the BSG devs feel about it too, Sergey posted a Funko, a Tarko collectible figurine depicting an operative in a special loadout based on the advice from knowledgeable people. Please do not try this loadout at home. Poking fun at the reviewer and the review. So they're understandably upset probably by something like this when you're such a large company and you're outright lying about the game's functionality and the happenings around the game, like selling accounts and fucking RMT and cheating and all this extra shit. Like, that's a problem worthy of discussion, but at the same time, don't lie about your experiences, making it seem worse than it actually is. And it's just unfair to do to a company, whether you like them or not. Treat people. That's
Well,
kind of your job is to be non-biased and just write your review.
to be fair, Nikita was very kind to this review. He posted about it also. Nikita said a lot of good stuff in this review, but also a lot of focus on technical issues and story. He said, "Thank you for your feedback. Long live the more polished extraction games, that's for sure." He said, "Well noted. Could have been a 7 from IGN though, but okay." Laughing emoji. So
Yeah, I think he kept us calm about it, but still got his point
yeah,
across, which is fair.
absolutely. But what's great about all this now is if you go to that IGN review, it has a reader's added context from the
On
Twitter
Twitter,
where they add
yeah.
context. Yeah. It says the
Unfortunately,
reviewer isn't being fully honest in this review, and people have brought this to the attention with his own videos attached to said review. One Peg has brought all this to light, asking for a fair review from IGN, and then it highlights One Peg's post and showing all the things that we just went over.
I wish that on the IGN website it said the same thing, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Moving on from there, we have another review that came out. We're not going to go through everything he's written. It wasn't a lot. He kind of complains about queue times. Claims he's not a big fan of extraction shooters, but he figures he'd give this one a go, try it out for himself, and see how it plays. Unfortunately, I have to tell you, it isn't very good. As I got into my first game, I immediately noticed a difference in visuals from now to when it was 4 to 5 years ago. Although the improvements aren't significant, it is still noticeable, which is what motivated me to continue playing for as long as I did. That is kind of bizarre. I mean, I guess a lot of people when they think, graphical updates and things like that, they're like, "Oh, it's a major overhaul and it's going to look completely different." And it's like, "No, like shadows look better, the grass textures look better, the shaders look better, the skybox is cleaner, like all these things that kind of play together. The overall look isn't going to change.
No,
But
the
yeah,
look of
like
Tarkov has not changed a lot. Like, there's no way he played Tarkov enough back then and could tell the difference when he loaded it up now. You can just tell by the way he plays. He did not put enough time in to notice graphical differences.
no, not at all. Another complaint was, however, the movement is still very slow and tedious, and partly because of that, I didn't bother playing any more than 5. Oh my god, I can't read today. And because of that, I didn't bother playing any more than around 5 games. That doesn't mean those of you who prefer extraction shooters shouldn't give this a shot. After selecting a faction, you get to customize your character with a very limited number of character presets. For one, this is a hard read. This is like
Yeah,
not
the
well
writing's
written at
very
all.
weird.
The guy's like trying to fill out a 1,000-word essay and just adding words. You know what I mean? It's
He
one of those
weaves in and
scenarios.
out of topics. Like, he
Yeah, well,
weaves
and
in and
his
out of
sentence structure's
sentences.
bad, and partly because of
Yeah.
that, comma, I didn't bother playing any more than around 5 games. That's the sentence I was trying to read, and it just comes off so wrong. It rolls out weird. Um,
Well,
so
but
it's
it's funny. He mentions how slow it is. You know why it was so slow for him? Because he couldn't figure out how to run. He
right,
didn't know there was a run
which we're
button.
gonna see in just a moment. There is
It's
gameplay
just
footage with this,
hilarious.
but I promise you, you have to pay heavy attention. You got to focus in. We don't ask this of you guys much. Like, lock in on this. This dude is high functioning. You can tell he's a gamer. You can tell that he's been involved in these kind of scenarios before, maybe Arma, DayZ, something like that. But like, he moves quick. He's on the run. He's doing things. You got to pay attention to notice the fuck ups and the flaws. So strap in, boys. We will take a look at that in just a second. One more thing that he was saying. I can find it again quickly. There it is. The main issue with Tarkov that this guy has is that you cannot use a controller. Maybe not his main issue, but it's top 3, I would say. He mentions
Yeah,
it
it's
more than
something he
one
mentioned
time.
over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, however, you might be able to play with a controller if you use Steam's big picture mode and configure your own inputs or use third-party software, or more. However, on the same token, it's apparently said that you're drastically more at an advantage. Oh my god. It's apparently said that you are drastically more at an advantage by using a mouse and keyboard for your overall experience, and because of this, I don't expect controller support to ever come to the game. Sorry, controller players, but if you're thinking of getting Escape from Tarkov, you may need to look elsewhere. So, this guy is just completely upset that a game made on PC, made for PC, no real talks of when it'll ever make its way to console, doesn't have controller functionality. And for someone with the gameplay footage that we're about to watch, I can understand it. It's kind of like all of us that play Tarkov, we understand your fingers have 1,001 buttons to press. No matter what you're doing, there's just always some fingers that can be doing something, right? So it's easy for us to clearly and quickly understand that a controller is not going to have the functionality we need to be able to do what we do on Tarkov. There's just no way. At least not cleanly and not as efficiently as you can do on mouse and keyboard. But for the way this guy plays, you can clearly see he's very one track mind, and he is thinking like L1, R1. If I should be able to hold X to sprint, and I can look with my left stick, and free look with my right stick, and everything should just work fine. There's no such thing as jiggle peeking. There's no leans. There's no crouching or like slow walking or switching between sites or manual zooming or anything like that. Like those kind of thoughts aren't in his head. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the gameplay. I think it's too hard to explain how rough this actually is. This is a reviewer for a gaming company or a review company called Games Creed. I've skipped forward to 10 minutes in. He has just loaded into a scav raid. All right, from this point on, for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, he just stands in that bush.
He
Here
sits
we
in
are
that
at
bush
13 minutes. Oh yeah, they're
partisan karma
bad karma
sound
rep
happens.
or bad rep,
Yeah.
whatever.
PMC karma, bad PMC karma.
PMC karma, yeah. Right here. It
It
scares
scares
the
him. You can
shit
tell
out
it
of
scares
him.
him, yeah,
Yeah.
because he's like, "Oh, something happened," and he just immediately starts moving.
Moves up to another bush and then starts just who knows what he's doing in this situation here. And this is pretty much the entire raid. Him just slow walking everywhere he's
Yeah,
going.
eventually, he just quits, I think.
Yeah, this is the scav raid that he absolutely just has no idea what's going on, no idea where he's at. These bushes aren't telling him anything, and he's over it.
But he kept saying the maps were too big, like, things were too spread out. It's like, well, you only moved for 30 seconds, so how would you know?
Right, yeah, how would you understand that?
Then these are
Waits in
really funny, his
queue.
PMC. He dies, and then he doesn't heal. Um,
I forgot how fast his shoreline or his reserve rate is.
yeah, it was really fast. He keeps trying to jump out windows because he doesn't know how to open doors. So he tries every window because he does
Yeah,
not know
that's
how
the
to
other
open
thing.
a
He
door.
doesn't know how to open a door. You'll probably see that in just a second.
So look, he'll keep going up the windows, and he keeps trying. He's like, "I gotta get out of here somehow, but I don't know how to open a door."
He is avoiding the doors. He got it.
There, he finds a way out.
Hasn't looked into any form of how to Tarkov or anything. Like, no guides, no nothing. Just raw dogging it.
Yeah, he
And
went into it completely blind.
this guy has played what Shoreline and Reserve. Shoreline is a big map,
Yeah.
but it's not like impossibly large. Um, and he's
Well,
saying that the maps are too large.
what's funny about this is all pre 1.0. Like, because obviously the maps aren't open, so he wouldn't have
True.
access to these maps if he was playing 1.0. And you can look down the corner, you can see it's on
Yeah,
0.16.9.
yep. Welcome to Tarkov.
And then he does not heal, and he loads back into another PMC raid with nothing, not healed. He doesn't heal, he doesn't grab a gun, he just loads right back into another PMC raid.
With
Completely
only a
hurt.
knife. Yeah.
Yeah, he does not grab anything. He's completely hurt, and he goes right back to factory. Now
Factory.
watch, this is even funnier because this is where he gets stuck indoors, and there is no window to jump out, and he cannot figure out how to get through. Oh no, this is where he gets killed instantly. Okay, then he fires up another one. He goes right back in, I think.
Once again with only a melee.
Yeah, this is where he just keeps walking into doors.
No idea how to even open a door. No gumption at all to just press F like any keyboard gamer would understand. I'm not giving him too much grief for not knowing the keybinds, but to not even try keybinds is crazy.
Well, to review PC games and not at least have an idea like, oh, there must be a way to scroll that with my mouse.
Right, it's
and
giving me
select what I
options.
want with a button.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't be reviewing games when you have this much incompetence. Like, it just,
Right, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of what I wanted to show with that. It's ridiculous. And then for this review to just continue on. So here's the good stuff and the bad stuff. The good stuff. The presentation has gotten better due to the updates. The gear customization is massive, and the weaponry list is pretty solid. 2 positives for Escape from Tarkov. Only 2 positives, and they're not even well thought out. Bad stuff. The movement is still very slow despite the updates. There is no controller support. It's strictly for keyboard and mouse players, and even if it did have it, it wouldn't really matter because this game is specifically designed for keyboard and mouse functionalities. The gunplay doesn't make for exciting gun battles due to its weak performance. The matchmaking is frustrating. It takes a long time to get into matches. Sometimes you'll have to wait several minutes to get in. And the maps are far too big for what the game has to offer. The only things that I really want to touch on this. Oops, I didn't turn that back on. The only things that I really want to touch on this specifically are the gunplay one, and the maps are far too big, which we kind of already touched on the maps. When you don't know how to run, you don't know what you're looking for, like POI wise, you don't know how to maneuver around a map. He probably didn't have his second monitor up, if he even had a second monitor or a tablet or a phone or anything in front of him that had a map on it to, kind of explain at least the general idea, north, south, east, west areas and
No, yeah,
borders
he
and
clearly
POIs. Like,
didn't
he
get
had
that
nothing.
far.
He
Yeah, he
didn't go
clearly
look
did
into
not
any
get that far.
guides on keybinds. He didn't look into any guides on like how to do things in Tarkov. He jumped into the game with zero understanding of it and zero idea what to do, and put very little effort into the review itself. And this is just, again, this is stuff that's getting pushed out to who knows how many people. Um, and a bad taste is being put in their mouths by reviewers who have no idea what the game is, how the game functions, or how to play the game at all. And it is extremely disappointing and unfortunate. Um,
Well,
yeah, it's
he highlights games like Black Ops 7, saying that
right.
Tarkov can't compete with Black Ops 7 and stuff. It's like it just shows you that his mind is in like a totally different atmosphere. Like
This feels
it's
like a
not
child.
even. Yeah, it does. It really does.
It's written like a child. It's thought out like a child. The lack of effort put into it is very childish. And it's just the problem with it in general. It's just that it's so low effort. It shouldn't even be published. Like, this is, you're putting a game down that your reviewer has no idea about in any way, shape, or form, and refuse to learn anything about, to put a good review out on it. If I just saying, like, if I were to review a game, even if it's not Escape from Tarkov, let's say I'm reviewing fucking Rekindled Trails review, right? Like, say I'm reviewing that. I don't give a shit about that game. I couldn't care less, but I'm still gonna at least put my best foot forward to bring a review for people who do care. Because that's the thing, people that are looking at reviews are people that are considering buying the game, and you're taking the player base that could be playing Tarkov and pushing them towards other trash that is literal trash. When you have something that is very complex, very in depth, very thought out, very just in depth game that lets you put thousands of hours into it, and that time flies by without, outside of like the regular frustration of Tarkov, you're having a great time playing Tarkov. And it's just a really unfortunate situation. And this happens with not just Tarkov. We're just covering it because it is Tarkov. This happens with all kinds of games. I bet if I clicked on another one of this guy's reviews, it's just as low effort. But yeah,
It's part of
these
your
things
job.
bother
If you're
me.
gonna
Yeah, it's your,
review yeah,
yeah,
if you're gonna review a game, part of your job is to go in depth with the game and review what the content is. If you don't even know how to open a door or to run, then you're clearly in the wrong business. Like, you should not be reviewing games. He seems like a guy who's only played console games, and this is the first PC game he's tried to review. And like I said, what's weird about it is he's trying to act like he's reviewing 1.0, but he's not even playing 1.0. These are old like versions of the game. 16.9, which was hardcore wipe type, or
right,
I think it was
right.
hardcore wipe, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was hardcore, right?
Um,
Start of hardcore, I think.
so it's
Maybe
like, yeah,
towards
it's
the
like
end of it, but
I don't understand how he can say, like, with the updates, it hasn't changed. You haven't even played the updated game yet. Like,
no.
at least what you're showing
Well,
isn't
and
updated. Like,
if he played 4 or 5 years ago, and then to say that nothing's changed in that time is absurd. There's been maps added,
yeah.
new guns added, new gear added, mechanic changes,
Well,
fucking VoIP, vaulting. Like, so many things have changed and been added to the game. Even
even the thing he
graphically, it
points
looks
out,
better.
is he says even after many updates, the movement's still slow. Well, the
Right,
reason the movement hasn't been changed is because the movement is what the movement should be. Like, yeah, it's had tweaks, but he thinks it's slow because he doesn't know how to run.
right.
Like, that's
Yeah,
the reason he thinks it's slow. It's not because
right.
it needs an update. Like, it just his just mind is just it's this is I'm glad it's a smaller review channel because, man, this needs some work. This whole, like, games
Yeah.
creed or whatever, it needs some serious work.
Well, you even like, you should just hold these things to a higher standard. This is, quote unquote, a professional news review company, not news, but professional review company, publishing these things on the internet for upwards of millions of people to see and read. And it's just to have something so
I
low effort that's so poorly written. It's just really unfortunate. I'm not trying to beat this guy down, but this is just
well,
bad.
no. No,
And
he
it's a
deserves it.
horrible review. It's a shit review that
Yeah, he
has
deserves it.
zero. If we thought the last guy was lying and had problems with his article, this is way more egregious and just way less thought out.
Yeah, and I just, I feel like there's definitely something that needs to change with their whole review process if someone like this is being, is being put to review games like Tarkov, like, it just
I
doesn't
wonder
make
if
sense.
he were to, review Rekindled Trails, would he even put effort into that? Like would he learn the keybinds? Would he learn the mechanics just to have a good review? It's like you just one. I don't want to read reviews on this site anymore. Like I don't trust Games Creed after reading a 9-minute fucking article. If this is what you're okay with producing and the slop that you want to put out, then I don't really see why I would continue reading here. How do you expect your company to grow? And anyways, that's not what we're here for right now. We're bitching about the Tarkov side of it. It's just,
Well,
you should have
he
more,
gave
pride in what you do than to put this out.
he he gave Black Ops 7 a 4 out of 5. He gave Battlefield 6 a 4 out of 5. He gave, uh, Chronos: The New Dawn review 3.9 out of 5. Indiana Jones 4.2 out of 5. Metal Gear Solid 4.2 out of 5.
Just trends.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4.3 out of 5. Gray Zone
Crazy.
Warfare 3.3 out of 5. He reviewed Gray Zone. Okay, that's interesting. I'm looking at his Gray Zone here.
Yeah, I am curious, as to
I was
how he writes other articles. Maybe, if he gets more passionate about the game, he puts a better review in. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
just going to his review summary on Gray Zone, he says good stuff. The latest patch has significantly improved the quality of the game, and it's much more worthy of trying. Customization and inventory are sizable, allowing you to choose a large variety of weaponry, gear, items, and more. Experience is authentic, making you feel like you're on a realistic battlefield, and the improved visuals are icing on the cake. The brand new weather system is a brilliant touch to the overall experience. The one bad stuff, he only give it one bad, and that's there's still no controller support. Players who primarily or solely use controllers will not enjoy this game to its fullest.
it's funny.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's funny that a
I
game like Gray Zone that I think is inferior to Tarkov in comparison of at least in the extraction shooter genre. I think it does a lot of things really well. I think it has a really cool idea, but like overall, I think Tarkov's a much better game. Um,
Well, just to put this out there, they're not very big. They've been around from what I can find since 2020. Their Twitter page has 698 followers. Um, it just doesn't seem like it's a very big company. So I would imagine it's probably a few guys that had some spare time and they decided to put a gaming review website together. And that's probably all it is. It's probably not like professional in any means.
well, I mean, yeah, I suppose it's just still like poorly written slop in my opinion. It's just like I just feel like if you're gonna do this thing and you're gonna make it a thing that you want it to grow, like I just don't see the point in doing it half-assed. And maybe it is strictly just because this dude just doesn't care about Tarkov. He's like, oh, it's another PC mouse and keyboard extraction shooter. Cool, like that's fine, and that maybe that's all it is. But it's still you published it, so I'm gonna
Well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that he did not take the time to even learn the basics. Like, you have
right.
to if you're gonna be a reviewer, you have to take the time to learn the basics of how to control the
Well,
character, how
it
to,
sounds
like.
it sounds like other games he put effort into. Like Gray
Yeah,
Zone.
yeah,
It's
yeah, great zone
mouse
he
and
put a little effort
keyboard,
into.
very similar. He seems to have liked all the mechanics of it, or at least what he learned. But yet he can't get on Tarkov and press shift, even though the keybinds are realistically
But
the same, and like
to be
open as
fair,
F. And
Gray Zone is much more approachable than Tarkov is. Gray Zone is not near as complicated. Like, I can understand. I feel like he just goes into him blind, and it's like if you go into Gray Zone versus Tarkov blind, you're gonna have a much easier time figuring out Gray Zone than you are Tarkov.
the basic
'Cause
movement, I mean, the keybinds are the same.
well, kinda, but
WASD, Shift, F, right click, left click.
Gray Zone, you're not like inside buildings, like, you start in an open area, you're not having to figure out how to go in this place, like, it has a uh, much easier thing. You're in a persistent world, so you're not loaded into these different raids, like, it's not as complex, you know what I mean, like, for a person who has no idea what's going on. a person can hop in the gray zone, figure out how to shoot their gun, and just take off running down the street, run into a village, and start shooting people.
Yeah,
Tarkov,
but
no.
supposedly this guy doesn't even know how to run.
Well, I mean, if you use a
I
controller
don't think
on
there's any.
Gray Zone has
Does Gray
partial
Zone
controller
have
support.
controller support?
Yes, yes, it has partial controller support, so it at least has a mapped out version, you know, for a controller. So yes,
Maybe if they just don't know, I guess that shift key is. I don't know. I can't excuse that. There's no excuse for it, in my opinion. Like you don't know to hit shift in any way, shape, or form. One of your first thoughts while you're trying to move isn't hit shift. It feels natural.
that's why I feel like he's just never picked up a keyboard. Like I feel like Tarkov was the first game that forced him into using a keyboard, and every other game I've seen him review, it looks like all of them are controller games. Like I said, Gray Zone is more of a keyboard game, but you can plug a controller in and use it. Like it's just I don't know. Guy needs to work on his reviewing. Like he needs to be more serious about it. If he's going to review games like Tarkov, then he
Right.
has to at least figure out the fundamentals and learn those.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting yourself in a position for people to read this stuff and look at it and rely on you for a review so they can have a somewhat better understanding if they want to buy the game or not. And you're putting forth, something that you didn't even bother to learn the keybinds in. Um,
Absolutely, like
it's just
absolutely.
bad. Just bad. Do better, guy. Because we could have given you, props on your review instead of having to beat it down. We'd much rather see good reviews that, while you do have plenty of things you could complain about in Tarkov that have gone wrong or broken or whatever, there's a lot of good there too. Not give it a fair chance is the big issue, and to do that to any game is not fair. Um, if you're going to be in that games, just just do the due diligence. Moving on from that, though, uh, we've got an approximate date for snow, right?
Yep.
Nikita posted December 4th. That was 3 days ago. Snow approximately at the 10th of December, and there's sale going on from the 4th to the 7th, and I was kind of thinking around the 7th or the 8th before I'd seen this post. Um, that's maybe when they were going to introduce the snow. Like once this little sale ends and people have bought the kits and all that, introduce the snow and the new outfits and all those kind of things. So
Well, my guess, and the reason he approximated it, my guess is because it's launching alongside the new event, and they're still working on the final touches. So I
yeah,
think
that's
that's why,
very
like, they're
possible.
probably shooting for the 10th. But if it's done early, they might launch it earlier. If it's done a little later, they might launch a little later. Because otherwise, I feel like if they could just turn the snow on, he would just say what date. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Um. Yeah, because we're getting the unknown event still. That's something holiday esque. What was it? Coleata, I think, was the word we had found that most
yeah,
suited the idea. Um,
looked
just
like
like a
very similar to Korvad.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, with this holiday event, or not event, but like in the real world, it's a celebration where you're essentially going from house to house, celebrating goodwill with each other, more or less. So maybe something tied in somehow with having to warm up if they do the whole freezing frostbite mechanic again, which I hope they do because that was really cool. We also have no idea how this year's snow is going to play out. Do you have any guesses or hopes or wants like for snow this year? Is there anything you want to see more of or less of or done differently?
I think it's going to be exactly the same as last year. I don't think they're going to change anything. I mean, it was done very well last year, and I don't see. I mean, I guess they could change the uh amount of like snowy weather we get, like, but I just don't see them changing too much. It was really well done last time.
I agree. If anything, I'd like to see them add like maybe like whiteout snowstorms. We already deal with fog that we literally cannot see through, or at least for the most part can't see through. It would be cool to just have some heavy snowstorms, just like we have rain that falls heavily and it makes it somewhat harder to see, especially at night. We could have these snowstorms that are pouring in, uh, essentially the same as rain, right? They just impair your vision a bit and they make it a little bit more challenging to hear because the wind's whipping. But I just
Well,
what they did last year
I was gonna
was
say
damn near perfect.
they did. They did do that last year, if you remember, whenever you
Well,
would
it
get
wasn't
the
like
frostbite
extreme,
effect,
right?
it would
It was.
get heavy, heavy winds,
Oh
and, like, the snow
yeah,
would come in really
yeah.
hard, and
It would
the
get really
temperatures would
windy.
drop. Yeah.
Forgot about the wind. Yeah, it would like
They didn't use
whistle
it a
past your
lot.
ears. No,
Yeah, they didn't use it a lot, but they did use it a few times.
but yeah, just like the pretty much how they did it last year was awesome. Just the snowdrifts that would pull through, and then you would have snow falling all around you. It's all white. There's no grass. Then that's a lie. Like everything's dead. The trees are all wilted away. You have a few ferns here and there, but outside of that, it's all just white and like this grayish green muted color. And for me being colorblind, it makes life great. It makes it really easy for me to see players, and I imagine it's that way for everybody. You're looking at a bunch of colorful skins, outfits and things. Uh, or just bright greens and not a lot of white to gray mixture, so things aren't blending very well. I'd imagine that we can all see that
Yeah,
very
it's
clearly.
definitely, yeah, easy to spot people for sure. And I just like the festive theme that they put, with all the Christmas lights and things. I'm hoping they do that again this year because that's not something the first year they did not do that. I
No,
don't
that was
think they
brand
did. When they
new.
first did
Yeah,
snow, it was snow by itself. And then last
yeah,
year they completely changed a lot of the maps. Like they themed a bunch of the different maps with all kinds of Christmas things. Um,
yeah. It
so I'm
wasn't
hoping they
just the
do that
Korevod
again.
Village houses. It was like all the
Yeah.
houses inside
Yeah.
of the mall,
Yeah.
the resort, like everywhere had Christmas trees
Even
and
the
lights and all
bosses,
kinds of cool shit.
Killa had his own,
Yeah,
gingerbread, armor,
and the hat, the Santa Claus hat on
yeah,
top of his helmet.
yeah. There was a bunch of things they changed, like, just little tweaks they did, and
Yeah, it was
I hope they
really
do that
cool.
again. But the
I
snow,
would
there's something
imagine
about the
so.
snow that it just makes it feel more, like, I don't know, calm, cozy, comfortable, like, it
Cozy's
just
a good
feels
word
like it
for it.
brings the intensity down a little bit. Yeah, it's more like just I don't know, for me, it's what it does. I don't
Well,
know.
it's you get the Christmas lights, you get the Christmas like, you get the airdrops that are like Santa's sleigh and shit, you get the Santa sleighs that are just laying across the maps, and there's extra loot everywhere, and people are being extra friendly because they're getting all kinds of cool shit, you're getting all kinds of cool shit. Everybody's just like, relatively cheery and happy, and the events run right alongside Christmas, which is a feel-good time, and, like, it's just very cozy. And I think the
Yeah,
winter season in Tarkov does a really good job at portraying the holiday in general. Like it's not
yeah,
just the snow and it's not just the lights and it's not just the Christmas trees. It's all these things coming together. It's like every corner you turn around, it's festive and bright, and it changes the atmosphere of Tarkov immensely.
yeah.
Just raid to raid. Walking an interchange, you walk up the stairs of Idea, and there's just a giant Christmas tree and fucking lights all across the walls, and everything else is well lit, and it's just
Yeah,
cool. It's
scavs were
really
dressed up.
entertaining. Yeah. And then you run into Killin, he's
Um,
got a gingerbread armor on. Like it's just sure, it's still hard. It's still Tarkov, but it's just a
yeah, it doesn't change
more
Tarkov at all.
cheerful, it's a more happy Tarkov that we just don't get very often outside of the winter season.
And then you also have Santa and Dad Miraz running around, like,
True.
giving out gifts. It's just it's a cool time in Tarkov.
Very cool time in Tarkov. Um yeah, yeah. The Santa Claus running around is awesome. I love his little barter deals he does on the fly.
Yeah. And there's a myth, I don't know the truth of this, but I remember last wipe hearing that, Dead Miraz was firing on people, but he never fired on me, but other people were saying that he would fire on you and you could kill him, but not Santa Claus, but both of them were friendly to me. I got gifts from both of them, so I don't know.
I had killed Santa Claus once and Dead Miraz twice, I think. I don't remember losing rep for killing Dead Miraz, but at the same time, like I always had pretty high rep, like well over 6. So if I got hit, I didn't really notice it anyways.
Right.
Um, but I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember, but I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I just remember it was, like, a topic people were discussing, and I personally tested it as much as I could, and I never ran into any issue with either one of them. Now,
Yeah,
Santa did shoot at me one time. I did end up killing Santa for the first time. It was a misunderstanding. I was shooting at scavs, he was shooting at somebody, and then I think either he thought I was trying to shoot him when I was trying to shoot a scav, so he shot at me, or I thought he was shooting at me and he was trying to shoot someone else, and then I just shot him. But like I said, there was a lot of craziness going on when that happened, so it could have been both of us making a mistake there.
It could have been a player scav shooting at him or something too,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
caused the
yeah,
problem.
and it
And
could have aggroed him to all of us, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to tell.
it is hard to tell. Um, another thing that the snow or the winter weather does very well is walking through the snow, just hearing the crunch under your feet.
Oh, yeah.
They got that sound effect so spot on. It sounds great. I love it,
Yep.
especially slow walking through because it's very light. It's a really clean sound. Yeah, I am overly excited for the snow. I think I'm at level like 30 right now. I'm working on test drive 1 and Shooterborn, so the easier I can see players at a distance, the better. I got to shoot like 4 more players in the head, or not in the head, but uh from 60 meters out, I got to kill players, and then I also, Shooterborn, I got to get 5 kills on every map with a boldy. So it's been a lot of M1As and Marlins at the moment. I've been trying woods, and I haven't had the best luck running woods. I've been running into players, but like every kill I've gotten has been sub 60 meters, and I don't really know exactly how to fix it outside of like just
Yeah.
backing off a bit more. But
Yeah, it's a tough one.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing; those are meant to be hard tasks. Those aren't
Yeah, for sure.
meant to be exactly easy. But yes, snow coming soon makes life easier for everything. Makes your tasking easier. You're able to see things a little more clearly. Players moving, at a pretty far distance away are very noticeable. It does make a world of difference when it comes to like your just sniping and just overall just keeping an eye on things and knowing how the map's kind of playing out. And it's just a cool vibe. It's a very interesting place or time to be in Tarkov with the amount of everything Christmas related. Oh, and that's another thing. Like up at Lighthouse at the chalets over in the tennis court, they had the snowmen up, right?
Yeah.
So like it would be pouring snow and there's really cool lighting. There's Christmas lights giving you different colors and stuff, and then there's snowmen down here. I took a lot of screenshots during the winter season too, just because of all the
Big
cool stuff
Christmas
that you
trees
see. Yeah,
in
big
certain
Christmas
areas,
trees,
ornaments, all
gifts
around,
under them, and yeah, you can
yeah,
craft all
gifts.
kinds of
You get
gnarly
your
shit with your ornaments too.
Christmas tree hideout in your hideout that you can, like, use as a cultist circle, but you can also craft things with it. Or, yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
can make
just crafting things, not
Ledexes.
like a
Yeah.
cultist circle. It's just crafting, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can craft
Um,
Leddies and GPUs and crates and all kinds of good
hard to
stuff.
tell what they'll add this year to it, yeah.
That's true too. It's awesome. I love it. And then you get the specialty items and stuff too, right? Like the jars of whatever kind of food and like the salad
Yeah.
and like there's just a lot of different things you
Jars of
could collect.
pickles,
Jars of pickles, that's what it was, yeah.
yeah, jars of pickles, there's, like,
Salad and
5 or
something
6
else.
certain things, yeah,
Yeah, there was a
yeah,
few
that they
things,
added
yeah.
last year.
It's really cool and they put a lot of effort into it, and yeah, we're excited for it. Moving on past that, though, the next thing I want to talk about, Nikita today dropped a new code. And this code is crazy. I'm going to show you guys the picture he posted with it. It's an Alton, a mutant with a FLIR on it. Looks like he's got the G lock with the M4 SD suppressor, maybe the NT4. I think it's the NT4. Exfil helmet with ears and NVGs, like 15 or so bitcoins, a bunch of ammo, thick weapons case or thick items case, and then a deagle with a handful of mags and presumably some really good ammo. Same for the AK rounds over there. I would imagine they're pretty solid. They look like at least
Isn't
BP.
I think that's a NL545.
You know what? I bet it is. I guarantee
It
it
is,
is.
yeah, it is, it
Yeah,
is, yeah, it is.
yeah. So they got the NL545. This is crazy because like this is a non-wiping character that we're playing here to give this stuff out. The code though,
That's millions of dollars of rubles right there, millions.
yeah. The code is pay to win. All caps, pay to win. Make sure
Yeah,
you get
we
on there
should
and
for
check that
sure go
out.
do
Like,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's
Look,
this
it's
is
got, like,
fat.
a bunch of bitcoins, like 10
Yeah,
bitcoins,
yeah.
thick items case, fast MT with nods, a FLIR on an NL545 with a 90 rounder, and
The
then
new Swamp Fox Justice and the Trigicon SRO. Really nice
yeah, dude,
attachments,
that's
Alton. Like that's awesome. It's huge. Yeah, code is pay to win. Definitely make sure you put that in. We're not obviously don't have too much else to say about that. We'll keep moving on. The next thing is this picture that was posted. Uh, we had seen a look at this a while back when at the time they were showing like the meshing of the ship and just like a lot of the room designs and stuff like that. We had kind of started formulating guesses, but all we could see was like a partial view of one of these over here on this left hand side of the picture. We can only see a partial amount of that, and you could kind of see upstairs, and everything else was kind of in the dark. You couldn't really make anything else out. Now we can clearly see it's a DJ, like some sort of rave room or party club, like some kind of club or place to party, or like, is it on the ship? Potentially, maybe. I don't know. Where is this? Where do you think this is?
Do you remember a while back we got a different picture and it looked like an amusement park? Like it looked like where you would like buy your tickets at the front of an amusement park and walk in. It had like the wooden gates and had
Yeah,
like a ticket booth, and all of this seems to be like an amusement park. Like it seems to be there's a either an addition to a map that's going to be amusement park themed, or there's a whole new map that's going to be amusement park themed, or the icebreaker ship has an amusement park near it. Because I don't think it can be on the ship. I just think that the pictures I've seen seem way too big to enclose on a ship. But
right.
then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can but it looked like outside. It had it on those pictures we've seen before. Like the entrance gates looked like they had their own piece of land. It didn't look like it was anywhere near water or anything. So I don't know. I'm confused about what this is. But Nikita has confirmed we are getting a couple new maps. Like he's already confirmed that. So is
It's
this
true.
what we're seeing? Just a completely new map?
I mean, it's entirely possible, right? Is it event related potentially? I don't know how
Hmm.
or why or where, Uh,
Well, I feel like the icebreaker is going to be event, like the Christmas event. I feel like icebreaker is going to be introduced with the Christmas event just because it goes
that
together.
would be
Ice,
cool.
Christmas.
Right, right.
It just seems like it would all go together. And we got a lot of teases about the icebreaker ship. This we've gotten fewer teases of. We've gotten just a couple.
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know.
the only reason I say that this could potentially be on the icebreaker ship, right, is because of the industrial look to it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, this could be at the bottom of reserve on the rework. This could be on a completely different map on its own. This could be part of something that we haven't seen yet. Like, who knows where it's actually at. And at the time that we had first seen this other picture of it, the icebreaker ship was being teased right alongside with it. So, it was just like
Right.
that was put into my head. But I genuinely, like, I don't know where, outside of a new map, I don't know what this could actually be, unless reserve rework is the only other thing that would have like this hard industrial look to it.
It's
Um,
like, why would
this could
reserve
also
have a
be right. It doesn't
like a
make
DJ
sense.
booth and
Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't make
yeah.
sense. The other thing it could be is like a labyrinth style setup, like a trial type setup. Again, no idea why or what or where, but just speculating. If it's not icebreaker
I mean,
related and it's
an
not tied
underground
to a
rave
new map
bunker, like
entirely, yeah,
that
like
kind of makes sense.
it could be entirely like labyrinth, and this is just like the main area that you could end
Well,
up in, or maybe like
we
I don't
have the
know.
new locked door on interchange in the power station that you go down the steps and it's got a key card place
I
and it says
think
you
we
can't use it yet.
saw access to that already. I'll have to do more research, but it could be. I don't know if I saw access to that or if it was a different door. Um, I don't remember what was behind it. But yeah, this could also be. I mean, this would be massive to have underneath interchange.
Yeah.
Well, potentially, we don't actually know what size this is. We can see at the far end of the picture, there's like a mirror, or not a mirror, but like a window or cell doors or something tall and a lot of rectangles. I can't like you can't make out much else from it.
Well, and you could look up top too, and there are more strobe lights at like the top floor. So it's definitely tall. Like the openings up top, like it looks like there's a barrier that runs around, but that looks like there's more strobe lights on the very top that are red. So this looks to be huge, like huge, huge.
What area would have a dance studio, like a dance, like a rave? What club? A club is the word I'm looking for. Icebreaker's the
I
only thing we
mean
haven't seen that has this industrial look that could potentially be large enough to hold this. It's just, again, does it make sense? Not at all. Not
I mean,
even a
kinda
little
though,
bit.
on Icebreaker, if it's a ship, you know, like uh,
It's like
if it's
it's
like
like a storage connex moving ship.
yeah, but it's like we've seen it has a ton of floors, and we've seen some really nice
True.
looking floors in there. Some really nice looking, like,
It's true.
hotel type floors, so it's
Yeah,
like,
if those
if
labyrinth or labs, terror rooms, if those are involved, yeah, that's true. There are some very nice looking floors. You're right.
yeah, so it's like if they use it as, like, a public, like, getaway type ship also, like cruises, like, this could 100% be there, you know, this could be part of the fun, like, this is the floor you go to party on. Um, the only thing
The
that makes you
aesthetic
question that
fits.
is how tall,
It
like,
is
because like I
very
said, you can
tall and
look
open.
up
Right.
yeah, you can look up at the top there and it really extends, but we don't for sure know the the icebreaker, like, size. Like, we've seen pictures of it, but it's like we haven't actually been on it to see
Right.
what it would look like
Scale
to
wise
be
and yeah.
yeah, because it is huge. It's a if you can see when that helicopter lands on it, the helicopter is pretty tiny. So it's like it's definitely a huge ship, but I don't know.
Very curious. Because there's just nothing that looks like this in the game right now.
No. No, this is definitely either a new this is either a new underground area or this is a new map altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Most likely. Nothing else really makes sense for it.
Well, like I said, because I know we've seen the other pictures of, like, the amusement park area, and it's like,
True.
that has to be in connection with this, it has to be, so it's like,
Yeah.
all that together makes me feel like it's a new map,
I mean, it very
or in
well could
addition
be.
to an existing map.
Possibly too, yeah.
Maybe a new, like, part of streets, maybe, like, a
Well,
pier
that's
that
what I was
has,
just
like
thinking, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like some kind of carnival type area on Pier and then, like,
yeah,
just some industrial warehouse that they've turned into a club.
yeah.
The next thing that we have to talk about from Twitter is Nikita posting this bad boy. Oh, can't roll my
Yeah,
R's. I tried, but I can't roll my R's. Posting the FN Mini Me 762 MK3 Tactical. It's an LMG, and it is pretty gnarly. 762 by 50 51, I do believe.
yeah.
Should say in here somewhere very
Ammunition at the very bottom. Uh, M80, yeah, yeah, that's
M80
760 by 51.
FMJ, yeah. 762 by 51, gnarly looking machine gun though, and it has an optic rail, it's got laser mounts, probably can swap out the buttstock on it, and I'd imagine, as with all the other LMGs now, we can suppress it as well. I'm curious though, if you're not ADSing, can you carry it by the carry handle and like hip fire with some, some Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes? Like, can you really?
Can't you already I mean, it's very similar to the, M60,
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah,
and it also has a carry handle on it,
yeah.
and, but yeah, like, the gun, just the size and the layout is very similar to the M60.
It is. It is very similar to the M60. It's really cool. I'm not a big LMG user. I don't like the just slower ergo that you get out of it. Um, the 100 round capacity to put down 762 by 54R or 762 by 51 or 762 by 39 or even like the RPK with 545, like it is very lethal, and I can understand why people enjoy running those things. I mean, one, you just don't have to reload, and two, you've got a high powered round that is coming out at a crazy fast capacity, and they are cool, absolutely. I just personally, I just can't get into them. I don't know why. I don't run them on arena. I don't run them in base game. I just avoid them at all costs.
I like them, you know, I mean, for every now and then. It's not something I would run continuous, but it's definitely fun to mess around with. And looking at like terminal, from what I've seen, something like that would be clutch.
It does seem that way. From what I yeah,
Yeah,
like,
you
I know
need
we've
high
been
capacity.
yeah,
Yeah,
been avoiding spoilers for the most part, right? But we still see things, and
yeah,
yeah, it's there's there excuse me, there's an absurd amount of just chaos on that map at all times.
yeah.
It's it seems intense. I'm excited to get there. I know I'm getting close with the Falling Skies task line. Same for Tor. We just need to do some lab stuff, and I think we're surprisingly close after that. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for any new gun that gets added. The Marlin's been a blast. Have you gotten to use it a whole lot?
I've only used it a couple times. Like I had fun using it, but like I said, I prefer being suppressed so often that it's like I run a lot of solo, so it's like I don't like being loud because then everybody just comes to you. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I like it for being able to just get several shots off relatively quick, but I do dislike the fact that you have to run loud. You still only have 5 round capacity, and you are pretty limited. Like if you're not hitting your shots, or they've got some pretty beefy armor on, you can definitely struggle with the gun. But it is fun. It's really cool. It's
It's
interesting.
OP. Like it's one of the
Yeah,
best guns added in the game in a long time. I mean,
for sure,
I don't know if they're ever gonna like nerf it and make it where it doesn't count for bolt action kills, but as long as it counts for bolt action kills, it's the best bolt action in the game. Like
for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the range fall off is insane. Like it's almost not really noticeable out. I would say probably 200 meters or so. You get some really nice muzzle velocity off of it. It's what got a 1.25 MOA, I think.
yeah, like 1.2, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
got
think
it's got crazy stats. The stats on that thing are
it's got a
insane.
1,000 meters effective distance.
Yeah, 1,000 meters.
Um
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good gun. It's a very good gun, and
it is.
everybody's being able to use it, you know, for all their normal bold action tasks, and you actually
Right,
have a very quick succession fire rate, you know, that you don't get in bolt actions with that gun. And I think they're going to nerf it eventually. I think eventually lever actions are going to have their own category, and bolt action
probably.
is probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be included for bolt action tasks much longer.
I mean, you are, quote unquote, cycling the bolt, but you're doing it in a way that is substantially faster than what any of the other
Right.
bolts can be cycled. Yeah, I think it's a really cool gun. I think it is a lot of fun to play with. But I am going to end up
Yeah.
going with just like a build out Gornisty, because you can do that now. You can put some crazy parts on that gun, and just rock APM, because I've got, I don't know, like 300 rounds of APM, and that ammo does a surprisingly good job at taking players out. So, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's great ammo.
but yeah, it working for Shooterborn, not just Shooterborn too, right? You can use it for all your Tarkov shooter
Yeah.
tasking, and it's just a
I
really
used it
solid
on
firearm. Like
woods.
it's great.
I use it on woods for, you know, getting my scav kills with a bolt action, like shooting them in the leg, shooting them in the head, like with iron sights, and then from like 100 meters, you have to do the iron sights, and like I used it for all those tasks, and it was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've used it for all of the Tarkov shooter stuff I've had to do so far. Um, Speaking of new guns that
Which I
they've
think
added,
everybody has.
yeah, probably I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah,
But yeah, speaking of new guns that they've added, I haven't had the chance to run this one yet, but the AS Val Mod 4, I have a clip to show you as well. We stole a clip from Sheaf. Hopefully that's cool with him. Um, but yeah, I mean, this thing not only looks absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to try it out. I'm still curious, like, is it an integral, is it integrally suppressed,
I
or
don't think it is.
are we able to swap out suppressors and barrel links and things like that?
The
That's like
only reason
my
I say
biggest
that
question.
the only reason I say I don't think it is because when Sheaf was shooting in his hideout. He was testing it. He said, "I wonder how bad the, uh, the muzzle fire is gonna be, like, if it's gonna blind me," and the only reason you would think that is if you took the suppressor off, so
And here is the clip of this thing in action. Uh,
Twitter's hard to get
no joke, this
involved.
thing is absurd. It's so good.
That's because the reticle's pretty small.
I didn't expect it to go over so quick.
That's not bad at all.
It's insane. It's so fast.
No recoil.
Yeah, it just sits wherever you're pointing it, just stays completely stable. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Really, really excited to get my hands on that one. You know, when I have no idea. You said it was what through Prapper 4 or was that something else?
No, that was the AK-308.
Oh, and that's another gun. I don't have any footage of that one. You know, it's locked behind Prapper 4, but seems like a really solid idea. You got a 308 308 AK. What's not to
Oh,
love about that?
wait a minute, it says that the integral suppressor is still used in the mod 4, so you
Okay,
cannot add other suppressors.
fair enough. Still looks awesome. Excited to check it out.
Yeah.
And it also makes me wonder have they fixed any of the functionality with the AS Val? Like, does it still jam as frequently, or has it been worked out a bit to where it's a little more reliable? Uh, I just don't know. I haven't messed with it at all. I don't know if they did any tweaking with it or not.
Well, and this
Um,
is just going off of the wiki for the gun itself, so, there
right.
could be other, changes in Tarkov.
True. But yeah, the AK-308, that's another really cool platform. I can't wait to get my hands on. It's you can build it out like an AK, and you've got a 308 cartridge, which is
Oh,
absurdly awesome.
another cool attachment that I found the other day. You can put, uh, like the, Burris and the Razor and all those scopes on the SVT now.
Really?
Yeah, the SVT has a rail attachment now that lets you put scopes on it,
Oh,
making it a very dangerous, like, Mosin alternative.
yeah. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that was an option.
it's a SVD Mosin, like, type gun when that you can actually put good sights on
Yeah,
now, and you can get it for
yeah,
cheap.
yeah. It's
It's
dirt
very
cheap.
cheap,
The ammo's
you know.
insane.
Yeah, 7.62 by 54R guns, are, there's not a ton of
Devastating.
them, and
Yeah.
when you do have that bullet, it's like there's not many bad ones in this game. Almost every bullet for that gun is gonna drop someone.
Now, can does that mean you can do it for the AVT as well?
Yeah, yeah, SVT and AVT, it fits on
Hell
both.
yeah. Yeah, that's sick. That's exciting. I'm gonna definitely be checking that out a bit.
Yeah,
Um, damn, I didn't know that.
and
That's really
see,
cool.
that's another thing that they just added and no one really had any idea until people started finding it, and it's like,
Right.
I'm just going through, looting, and I happen to see this rail mount. I'm like, "Wonder what that's for," and then I just, start reading the description. I'm like, "Wait a minute, SVT?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's
shit."
insane. Yeah, that's a game changer for that thing. Oh yeah, that's cool. Last thing that I have for today, from Twitter at least, I don't think actually this might be the last thing at all. Is Arena Cup Series 5 started today. Sure we missed round 1. Here are the scores for that if you are interested in keeping up with it. I like to watch the Arena Cup Series. I think they're pretty fun. There's some really really good players out there. I love supporting this stuff. It's just cool to watch as it is. I enjoy Blast Game quite a bit now. I used to not. I couldn't care less for it at first, but the more I've played it and the more I've started to like understand the maps and how the game's played out, it's really well designed and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, here's
Oh.
the rankings as of now. Here's where everybody's sitting. Yes.
Oh, I thought you was going into something. I was just gonna say we can mention that Arena did get an update with, uh, a brand new, um What did they add on Arena? They added something on Arena for new players.
Tutorial.
Oh, tutorial. Yeah. They
Yeah,
added a new
yeah,
tutorial.
dude. Have you played
Um,
it?
I have not played it, but I watch people play it, and it's
I
freaking
was gonna
awesome.
say, dude, it's
Um,
funny. Like
it
it's
should
quirky.
be in the main game because
Yeah,
it
I
teaches you a
agree.
lot of stuff that the main game does not. It teaches you how to heal. It teaches you how to load mags. It teaches you how to set your character up. Teaches you how to move a little bit. Like
It
it
teaches you
is,
the basic mechanics to like actually understand what you're doing a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
It even
And
teaches you. Go ahead.
I assume that they're putting that in the main game eventually, something similar to that,
I
because
would hope so.
that would make more sense, like than the one we have
The
now.
starter raid is cool, but maybe that should be the second half of the tutorial. Maybe step one
Well, it's
should
like,
be
yeah,
you go through the arena style tutorial, and
yeah,
then you go through a
absolutely,
door and you load into the ground zero raid. That way,
yep,
players loading into the ground zero raid have an idea of what to do.
yep,
I'm all for not hand holding, but something like that is so
yeah. Teaching the basics is fine.
it's so necessary. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like it should be that way.
Well, and that's something like that would have helped, like, the games Creed reviewer, you know what I mean? Like, that is
Well, yeah,
something
that's
that probably
true.
would have helped them a lot.
Yeah, he could have
But
learned a lot from that.
any of you guys who watch us that have been hesitant about, like, trying Arena, it's like, now you have something that can help you get your feet wet without having to step in with other people and worry about, messing the game up, or, just things that people worry about. You don't have to worry about it. You can go in by yourself, learn the basics, learn a lot of good things, and it's just a good step for Tarkov to have.
No, it is, yeah. I completely agree.
I wish I would've
Um,
played it now because I skipped it, but it's
you
like
still can,
I
you still
I
can.
did. Oh, can you go back and play it?
Yeah, you can
Okay,
go back
cool.
and play it, yeah. When
Awesome.
you go to play match or whatever's up there at the top left to start gaming, and you select, like, if you wanna play last hero, blast gang, team fight, checkpoint, down on the bottom right under where ranked is, it'll have the tutorial there, and you can go check it out. It's
Okay,
funny
cool.
though, like, the announcer guy is, like, quirky and kinda goofy, it's like Fallout vibe kinda, but it's short, it's quick, the little course you get to run at the end is kinda fun. It's just yeah, it's really easy, it's
Yeah,
great,
I've heard a
it's
lot of
it's
good things.
really, really good for teaching the basics. I think it's yeah, like you said, it's very well designed, it's very well thought out, um, very well put together, like, it's just good,
Yep.
very good, yeah. But yeah, that's everything I have this week. I don't think there's any major drama outside of the IGN guy lying, Games Creed reviewer not having any idea how to review a game properly, and I'm sure there's other reviews out there that are
Yeah.
not done well either or full of lies, and you know it is what it is, but it just shows that you do have to kind of do your homework a little bit. You can't just rely on the first review that you read. Even if it's a great review, it could be somebody just dick riding, right? So it's like always take a look at more than one resource when it's available to you. Don't just run with the first trend that you see because a lot of those things tend to just be trend hopping and, doing what's quote unquote popular at the time. So that's all for me.
Um, I got a couple more things. There's um the PUBG game Black Budget
Oh
is
yeah.
a new extraction shooter from PUBG. Um, they are going to be having a private beta, private playtest that is happening, I think, on the 11th or the 12th. Actually, hold on, I'll pull it up. It is.
Yeah, I can't remember what the date was on it. It looks really cool
It
though. I'm
is
excited to try it.
on the 12th. It starts on the 12th, so next week on the 12th to the 14th. So Friday to Sunday, it's running, and then the very next week on the 19th, Friday to Sunday, the 21st, it's also running. But the cool thing about it is you can sign up on the Steam page for PUBG Black Budget, but if you don't get in, they are going to be passing out keys. If you watch people, it's kind of like drops. If you watch a streamer, you'll get a drop for a closed beta test key, and you can just hop in and play. Um, And this is the thing, it's a closed test, but it doesn't have an NDA. So if you do get in, you can stream it, you can talk about it, you can show, videos. Like, there's no restrictions. And basically, this is PUBG's first try at an extraction shooter. From what I've read, it's got a little bit of like battle royale stuff mixed in with it. There's a closing circle, but it also says it's going to be less focused on like PvP. It's more focused on exploration. Like, there is PvP for sure, but there's
Right.
exploration. There's teams 1 through 3. Like, you can play uh you know 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, which is cool. There's definitely like a stalkerish type vibe to it, where it's got like some monsters and things like that, I think. But yeah, you can just go to the Steam page, learn more about it. But anytime a new extraction shooter comes out, I'm kind of rooting for them to be good, because we've not really had anybody do a good one since Tarkov, in my opinion. Um,
No, that's true.
so yeah, I mean, we've had a ton come and go, but like and my style is more down to reality, down to earth, and it's not focused on like I don't know, like esports ish type. It's just a real
Right,
gritty,
right, right.
tactical extraction shooter.
Yeah. It definitely looks cool. I haven't seen a whole lot
Yeah,
on it.
the
I'm
gun. If
just
you
looking
look
at
at
the
just the gun
screenshots on Steam.
customization, yeah, if you just look at the guns they have in their hands, like, you can tell they're using real
Yeah, they're
parts,
doing a
real
lot.
guns.
Yeah,
Um, so they're going that route, which that's always a big plus for me, as I like to have real guns, real parts. It's one of
for
the things I
sure.
love about Tarkov.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, so it just looks like it's going to be worth giving a shot. There was something else I was going to talk about, but I can't remember what it was, so I guess I won't talk about it.
Um, Ed Davis Jr. and his wacky hair.
No, I think we covered that.
All right. Well, if that's everything, I know I don't have anything else this week. It was mostly just a lot of stuff popping off on Twitter. My Tarkov grind is going pretty casually. I'm at level 30, just
Oh,
like I'm leveling
yeah,
well, but I'm pushing right along.
I remembered. Yeah, same with me. It's like I think I'm up to level 24, almost 25 now. I've been playing somewhat casually, just because this is my permanent character. It's
Right.
like this don't have to be in a rush to do anything. You're going to be on this character forever. So, but what I was going to say is there have been a few people who have managed to escape Tarkov, and we're not going over them because of spoilers. But if you are
Right.
interested in that stuff, you don't care about spoilers, you can find the information out there. We're just not giving it to you because we don't want to spoil ourselves, and we just
Exactly.
don't want to spoil it for anyone else. Like, even stuff we've already done, we don't want to spoil for anyone who hasn't done it. So,
Right.
you know, if you're looking for that kind of information, it is out there and
Yeah,
you
it's
can find it. Just
readily
not here.
available. It's very easy to find.
Yeah.
And the wiki does have the task lines up and running. All the information's there, to walk you through step by step if you do need it. I was told at least they're up and, fully. And from what I'd seen the other day, I had to look something up because I couldn't find one of the papers. And I didn't have any issue finding that information either. So definitely, if you're interested in just getting through the story and just escaping Tarkov and being one of those people that have done it, and you don't really care about taking your time, just hop on and look it up, and it's right in front of your eyes. Um, but yeah, I'm happy for those people. Like, I think it's really cool, and it's like Hezi, hardcore Hezi, the G, he's already hit Kappa, like day 14 of the wipe. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's
Um,
insane.
People have already finished the game. They've already completed the bad ending, the good ending, the great ending, and like everything in between. They've are like in the process of really breaking down the decisions that you need to make and how those decisions affect what, and where these task lines pick up from each other. And the game is very, or at least being very optimized right now. People are trying to figure out, exactly how to do everything. So the information is becoming more and more readily available, and it is cool to see it happening. But for like Adam said, he and I both just want to kind of get through this organically and somewhat naturally. We just want to, like, I've already heard a few things just through having conversation with people. nobody's maliciously out here trying to spoil anything. But like a couple things have been spoiled for me, and I almost want to just avoid those task lines until I forget what those things are. You know what I mean? Just so I can just try to enjoy it for what it is, because we have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. It's something that
Yep.
is special, and you only get to do the first time one time. So,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
will say the good thing is Nikita has already confirmed that more storylines are going to be added, and all that stuff's coming like with updates, like wipes, more content's being added. This isn't the final. This is right now. This is the final, but it's going to get more complex, bigger, more task
yeah.
lines, more storylines. All that's still
Well,
coming.
there's still a lot of stuff up in the air, lore wise, story wise, potential baddies and things like that that could be popping up, that we don't know anything about yet. So they really can take the story in a lot of different directions. I'm excited to see which way it goes and see what happens for everything to come in the future. But yeah, that's it for this week. Uh, Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Talking Tarkov, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so it helps us out tremendously while keeping you up to date with everything we've got going on. Just be sure to click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. We'll catch you next week. See ya.